Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Jaime.
Morning, Commissioner. Good to see you.
I'm gonna use my video as long as I can, sir.
Gasso, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jaime Salazar.
Hi, Mr. Joe Khalifa. I'm getting a lot of background noise. Could we
Yes, sir. We'll make
remind
sure
everybody?
to announce everyone once we get started to make sure they're mute on their end.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman. Can you hear us? Okay?
Morning.
Good.
I mean, good morning. This is Dan Lucio. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm having audio, visual issues. I think I have got a weak Wi-Fi signal.
Okay, sir. We can hear you just fine, sir. I have a phone number here at 830-773-9408. Can you please identify yourself, please, for roll call purposes?
This is Vanessa Rosales.
Good morning, Ms. Gonzalez.
Good morning.
Ready, Pop?
This tool helps our local.
Chairman, it's 8:32, sir.
Go ahead and call the roll, Jaime.
Sir?
Would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir, will do. David Garza,
Present.
David Fuentes,
Present.
he's present. Jose Hinojosa. Jose Hinojosa, I know I see him there. Riazul Mia,
Present.
Miss Sonia Lambert,
Present.
Mr. Daniel Lucio,
Present.
Hudson Deoy,
Present.
Joey Trevino,
Present.
Vanessa Rosales,
Present.
Mr. Joe Khalifa,
Morning, President.
Mr. Jose Caso,
Present.
Mr. Eduardo Gonzalez,
Present.
Mr. Raul Peña Jr. Mr. Raul Peña Jr. Mr. Alan Moore. Mr. Alan Moore. I know I saw his name on our end. Those are our voting members, non-voting members, Mr. Willie Cupid. Mr. Willie Cupid. Mr. Tim Freer.
Here.
Ms. Nelda Barrera.
I'm here.
Mr. Adrian Perez. Mr. Adrian Perez. Shonda Mace.
Present.
Ms. Megan Ingram.
Present, Jaime.
Mr. Ramon Macias.
Present.
Mr. Manuel Cruz.
Present.
And Mr. David Ramirez did send me an email that he was not going to be able to attend. He's still dealing, Mr. David Ramirez from TCQ is still dealing with some of the aftermath from last week's event. So he's was not going to be able to attend today.
Jaime, Mr. Raul Peña will be joining us shortly. You know.
Okay, sir. We'll be looking out for him, sir.
Okay.
Roll call is done.
Okay.
Establish the quorum.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We will go ahead and ask to see if there's any public comments that have been received that we need to acknowledge at this time.
None on my end, Chairman. No comments.
Okay.
received.
Okay. Anybody signed up for public comment?
No, sir. Not on
No,
my
sir.
Ms. Megan,
Okay.
you're in?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll go on to item number 4, which is good discussion and action as appropriate to consider the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting on the 13th of January of 2021. Make sure that you look at the latest version, not the earlier version sent. There was a typo that Jaime took care of. And if there's any other additions or deletions that need to be made, this is the time to bring those up. Hearing none for deletions or additions, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Commissioner
Motion made
Gonzalez.
by
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Second by Mr. Khalifa. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5 is introduction of the Region 15 new voting and non-voting members. Jaime, I'll let you go ahead and introduce those individuals at this time.
Yes, sir. For our voting members, we have joining us today Commissioner Eduardo Gonzalez from Willacy County. Commissioner, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You'd like to say a few words, Commissioner?
No, I really appreciate the opportunity to serve, and I'll do my best.
Oh, we know you will, Commissioner. Good to see you. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Raul Peña Jr. from Starr County. I believe, Chairman, he's going to join us here shortly.
Right. We'll let him say a few words after he gets on.
Yes, sir, of course. And then Mr. Alan Moore, General Manager from Cameron County Drainage District. Mr. Moore, are you on? Okay. From our non-voting membership, new members, Mr. Ramon Macias, Principal Engineer for the US IBWC. Mr. Macias, would you like to say a few words or welcome to Region 15 Committee?
Morning. Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to attend and be part of this program.
We appreciate it, Mr. Macias. Welcome. Thank you. And Mr. Manuel Cruz, the Executive Director from the Lower Rio Grande Development Council. Mr. Cruz, are you on?
Yes, sir, I am. Thank you.
Like to say a few words. Welcome, sir.
No, thank you very much for having me on board. Look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Looking forward to working with all the new members.
Thank you so much, Jaime, for getting us all updated on that. Next, we have an update from the Texas Water Development Board. But I think we also have a guest that would like to say a few words to the group from Water Development Board.
Yes,
Megan?
sir. Ms. Megan?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I apologize for my lack of video today. Still contending with some internet issues, but hoping to be on better next week. Glad to be here, though. Director Pop here at TWDB was interested in joining and saying a few words. If she is on now, we'd like to give her that opportunity at this moment.
Okay, if not, whenever she does come on, we can always accommodate, okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so is she on yet or?
I don't see
I'm
her,
on.
but
This is Joe.
No, Joe, you're on. We're looking for Director Pop.
Well, I haven't been able to get on at all. So I was just wondering. Okay, well, at least I'm audio.
You're
Good. Thank
you're
you.
on.
Logging up right now, Chairman Chief Ms. Pop is logging on right now. You can see it on the screen there.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
I do
we'll
see
wait
her
a few
now.
minutes. Yeah, we'll wait a few minutes and get her on. Okay?
Hey, can y'all
Hi.
hear me?
Yes.
Hi, guys. My
I had
goodness.
trouble with iPad and computer. I had to actually call in on one of the numbers listed there out of Houston, and waited for somebody to let me in. Jaime to let me in. So it's a bit confusing. That's all I got to say. So other people
You're
may
on,
be
Joe.
having the same problem.
Okay.
All right.
If the rest of the group would kindly mute their phones while we have a little discussion with Director Pop, Commissioner Pop.
Director's fine, or just Brooke, honestly. Well, Region 15, I just wanted to hop on this morning and first of all, just check in with y'all. The last week was just unreal, wasn't it? We lost power at the Pop House for a few days, and as I was sitting in absolute darkness with my two small children, it really hit me so hard how mission critical our infrastructure planning is. I mean, honestly, the job that we have ahead of us already had a lot of eyes on it, but I think moving forward, there's going to be even more eyes on it to ensure that the state has the infrastructure resiliency in every aspect to make sure that no one ever has to sit in the middle of darkness with two small children again. So I think that just means that there's a lot more pressure on the water world, the infrastructure world in general. And I know we're already asking so much of each and every one of y'all. You have real jobs, you're dealing with COVID still, and now you're dealing with all the ramifications of what happened last week and trying to get your own families up and running and get your own water infrastructure back to where it needs to be. And, I can't believe I'm having to sit here and ask y'all to come up with the Region 15 regional flood plan, but I am. So I just wanted to thank you for everything you're doing, honestly. I don't want anyone to get volunteer fatigue. So if there's anything that I can do personally or professionally to make this a smoother process or to expedite things or just to make it easier on each and every one of y'all, please let me know. Honestly, the board members are here for every group, and we really do want to hear from y'all. You have a huge mission ahead, and we're really counting on y'all. And then our work begins. But if there's anything that we can do, please let us know. But again, this is just a big thank you, and I hope you all are doing okay. And I don't know. There's just a lot to say and a lot to think about, but I just really appreciate each and every one of y'all. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Pop, for visiting with us this morning. And any comments from any of the board members that they wish to make at this time?
Commissioner, if you would allow me, this is Jose Caso,
Yes,
represents
sir.
small businesses in Region 15. Director, one thing that we would ask for, and I know that agencies maybe have a hard time advocating for the legislature, is just more resources for flood control projects. You know, we thought that the FIF program went really, really well. Maybe a second round, or you know, we hear a lot of conflicting versions that money's running out, but that CARES Act is fueling everything. So I think from our end, we're going to generate a good plan. We've got a tremendous team, but I think that the biggest challenge we're going to have is going to be funding it. So anything that we can do to have available sources of funding would be tremendous for our region.
Yeah, Jose, I'm right there with you. You know, when the fifth was passed, you know, it was close to $800 million. And I think that the legislature thought that was a large amount of money. And it is. I mean, we can't say it's not. But then when we put out the calls for applications, we got over $2.3 billion worth of applications. So, I mean, I think it's obvious that the need is there and the need is critical. That being said, we are going into a COVID session and we're trying to deal with a lot of the ramifications from COVID. And now we're heading into, I don't even know what we call the event that was last week. So, you know, resources are going to be scarce, but I think that everyone understands that the fifth is obviously going to be successful. It's rolling out really well. You guys are doing your jobs. It has not gone unnoticed. So, you know, I am hoping that the state puts more resources towards it if needed. So, but I hear you. I'm right there with you. You know, just all eyes are on it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from anyone? The only comment I would make, in addition to what was just done, is that we are here to help. If at any time or in any occasion we need to do any advocating for the group, please let us know. There's a whole lot of great people that are on this group, and I know that many of us on occasion travel to Austin and advocate for different issues that come about. So if there's anything we can do on behalf of the Water Development Board as an FIF planning group, please let us know and we will be more than happy to help, Director Pop.
No, I very much appreciate that. And, you know, honestly, your group is one of the ones I don't worry about at all, because you guys are very vocal and you're very organized and very thoughtful in what you bring to the board, and you have great leadership. So I know that if there is anything that we need you to do or anything you need us to do, you will be very communicative, and that's what we need from y'all, honestly.
Okay.
So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. We will go on to item number 6, which is an update from the Texas Water Development Board. Megan, if you would proceed, and it's on the Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1, Texas Water Development Board Region Flood Planning Grant Application, or Jaime, whoever is going to take the lead on this.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner. I'll let Jaime have any notes if he needs to, but I will start. And again, thank you, Director Pop, for being here. So the update that I have is, again, on the Regional Flood Planning Grant application. Commissioner Garza and your sponsor staff worked hard to get that submitted on time. So TWDB is now reviewing that with the goal of contract execution with the TWDB by March 31st. So we are busy reviewing those, getting them packaged off to contracts and getting through that process. So when I have a further update of what that looks like, I will keep Commissioner Garza and Jaime in the loop, but that is the stage that we're in now. And then my only other update that I wanted to know is to let y'all know that we will be finalizing 2 different guidance documents that provide a lot of detail on executing that scope of work and on executing the various responsibilities throughout the regional flood plan. So not only do you have the rules and the scope of work and laying out how you lay out the regional flood plan, but we're also going to have those 2 documents providing a lot more guidance about how we recommend to do so. So that will be coming out soon with 2 weeks of public comment, and there will be a lot of opportunity to discuss that. And I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions, but I think it will be a good discussion. So that is forthcoming, and I'll keep you updated on that as well. That's all I have, Commissioner, unless anyone has any questions for me.
Any questions for Megan? Jaime, any update from you on this? Thank you for all your work.
No problem, Chairman. It was a team effort. We received a request for information about 2 weeks ago from Texas Water Development Board in reference to and it was a minor request on the budget side. So we submitted that, I believe that same day. So we've yet to hear anything back from them. They like Megan said, they are in the reviewing process. So as anything comes up, I'll make sure and brief the committee, Chairman, but that's all I've got for now in reference to this item.
Okay, any questions from any of the members in regards to this? The main thing is it was all timely submitted, and we're not awaiting the review and the final acceptance from Texas Water Development Board on March 31st.
That's right.
That's correct, Chairman.
Okay, if there's no questions or discussion on it, we'll move to item number 7. Discussion and action is appropriate for additional non-voting entity members. First and foremost, is there any public comment, Jaime, in regard to this item that has signed in?
None received, Chairman.
Okay.
Megan, on your end, did you receive any?
No, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Update from the planning group sponsor, Jaime?
Chairman and committee members, I've yet to hear back from the South Texas Development Council or the Middle Rio Grande Development Council. I did receive a request for our signed bylaws from the Texas U.S. Geological Survey, and they requested about 2 weeks ago a copy of our signed bylaws. I did forward that to them, but I've yet to hear back, Chairman. So
okay.
At this point, if you'd like me to follow up with another letter or a phone call.
Well, I'd like to assign a committee of 1 to help us with the South Texas Development Council and the Middle Rio Grande Development Council. And Manuel Cruz, are you still on with us?
Yes, sir.
Could you reach out to those folks and see if we can get a designated for this, so that we can make sure and have that representation on there. I know that, you know some of these folks, Manny, and you could probably help.
Yes.
Get this taken care of.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Just when you do get any contacts, just forward them to Jaime and myself, and we'll be more than happy to include the individuals that they'd like to have designated. Okay.
Will do.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Anything you need from me, Mr. Cruz, just let me know.
Will do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And we'll await on the Oklahoma, Texas U.S. Geological Survey to hear from him. You might send them a follow-up reminder, Jaime.
Yes, sir. Will do.
Okay. Any other comments in regards to the additional non-voting entity members? If not, we'll go to item number 8, which is presentation and discussion of scoring grid of engineering firms who submitted statement of qualifications for RFQ number HCDD 1-21-003-02-10, professional engineering services for regional flood planning. Region 15, Lower Rio Grande, for the purpose of ranking by Region 15 Flood Planning Committee. Nick, we'll go to the presentation by the group sponsor, Mr. Salazar, if you would proceed.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, before Mr. Salazar, I'd like to excuse myself because Black and Veatch work for City of Laredo. So I'll be not voting on this one if you allow me. I don't want to have any conflict, sir.
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you, Mr. Mia. Chairman, committee members, we went out, as you know, for advertising for the RFQs for regional planning for Region 15. The first advertisement ran on January 23rd, and the second advertisement ran on January the 30th. We had our openings on February the 10th. Now, there was a total of 7 packets that were requested from 7 different firms from the district during the process. And we received 3, which are the rankings that I sent you yesterday. Those were ranked by Drainage District in-house engineers and myself. We had 2 licensed engineers, Mr. Cecina, Mr. Saldivar from my office, and myself, that went over the RFQs that we received and came up with the following scoring. I'm going to share my screen.
And I asked Jaime to share this information with all of the board members so that everybody would have.
That's correct. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
And that's how they were ranked. Both firms at number 1 and at number 2, great qualifications, great personnel. The district, though, has not had any personal work experience with Black & Veatch and has had work experience with Half and Associates. It was a very good package that were submitted. Unfortunately for Ziegler, Winston, Greenwood, their packet was more standard. It wasn't specific to our scope of work. So their rankings came a little, below than the other 2. The other 2 did put time and produced a really good RFQ. And at the end, this is the scoring that we came up with. With that, does the voting committee like to rank them as listed?
I make a motion to rank the engineering firms as listed.
This is David Fuentes. I'll second that.
What was that?
Commissioner Fuentes, second.
I'll second it.
I'm sorry, what was the motion? I didn't hear it.
To accept the rankings as presented, Mr. Hinojosa.
And I apologize, Mr. Hinojosa. The way we have them scored is Half Associates as 93.33. For those that don't have cameras, Black & Veatch Corporation was ranked at a 90, scored at a 92, and Ziegler Winston Engineering was scored at an 84. So does the committee wish to rank as stated?
Well, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? This is an opportunity for anyone to bring up any comments, discussion. And this is not to accept them as, this is just to accept the ranking as presented.
Okay, thanks. This is Joe Hinojosa. Thank you, Commissioner, for that clarification, because I wasn't sure what the motion, obviously, yes, the ranking is accepted as presented, but that's not to say that that's the final word on what we want to accept. But anyway, a comment, Half and Associates and Black & Veatch are 93.3 and 92. In my mind, they're basically a draw there. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Any other comments from any of the other members of the group that they wish to make at this time?
No, not at this time. The clarification was made on just the acceptance of the ranking.
Okay. So all those in favor of accepting the rankings as presented by the evaluation committee, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. The rankings are accepted as presented. Item number 9. Pursuant to the committee's approval, requesting the authority for the Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1 to negotiate a professional services agreement with the number 1 ranked firm of, in this case, is Half and Associates for the provisions of professional engineering services for Region 15 flood planning.
So move.
State your name, please.
Jose Caso.
Jose Caso. Okay.
Commissioner Garza, this is Hudson Dio.
Yes, sir.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
The scope of work for the contract, based on my understanding, is a done deal. That scope of work is not up for discussion or modification or anything. Is that correct?
Megan, would you update Dr. Dale on that?
Yes, sir. So the request for applications is being reviewed by TWDB, and that includes the draft scope of work by the Water Development Board as is, Hudson, as you've been reading it. There will be, if you have any points you'd like to bring up, we're happy to look at that in review because we always want to hear y'all's thoughts and any changes you'd like to make. I think also there will be room for clarification and expansion in your subcontract. I'm not sure exactly what that will look like, but really the thing we always want to know your thoughts, because if we can improve the scope of work, even going into the next cycle, that's going to be important. So always want to open door for hearing your thoughts. There is room for clarification and expansion in the subcontract.
Okay, yeah, that's what I need to know. Thank you.
Was there anything that you wanted to bring up, Dr. Dale?
Kind of. This might not be the best time, but I'm looking at the draft scope of work. Item 8, there's evaluations of potentially feasible. I'll skip the rest of it. But there's item F, and in that there's a list of 10 items. And this is me because I am the environmental representative. There's nothing in there considering the potential benefits, estimated benefits for the environmental anything. Okay, it does include farmland and ranch land, but you can take a look at the Laguna Madre as a fish farm if you like. So again, this might not be the best time to talk about that, but that's just me. Thank you.
No, I think it's an appropriate time to bring it up. I appreciate you bringing that up, Dr. Dale, because that's the major outfall for everyone in this region. So I think that we need to make sure that we sit at the table in some regard with the group from the lower Laguna Madre and the impacts to the lower Laguna Madre in a very direct way, both from a viability and resiliency standpoint to an economic engine that it is for the area also. So I really appreciate you voicing that concern. And I think that we need to make sure in the negotiating process that we include some aspects of what you just brought up.
Okay.
And Commissioner, if I could expand on that as well, there have been very similar discussions with multiple other regions on this exact topic, the environmental aspect of the scope of work. So we have heard that will be something as we consider going in the next planning cycle. But even more importantly, I'd like to note that what is the right word? More important to follow even in the scope of work are the regional flood planning rules, which come directly that are more, they must be followed in addition to the scope of work. And the scope of work is based on those rules. And in the state flood planning rules, I'm happy to send these just so you have them right at your fingertips, are guidance principles that must be followed not only in specific tasks in the scope of work, but throughout the regional flood plan. And in those guidance principles, which are part of the rules, are included more environmental considerations and that kind of thing that just were not transmitted word for word into the scope of work, but they are rules that must be followed. So we are hopeful that by using those are pillars that must be followed, that will be something that's encouraging. But we do also want to hear any thoughts you have to contribute to the scope of work moving forward into future planning cycles. So I'm happy to send that so that you can put your eyes on that, because it's also encouraging and has a flexibility to, it's going to be on the group. So on all of the members here to really guide the technical consultant in formulating your regional flood plan and reminding them, hey, these environmental aspects, you might not see them right in front of you in the scope of work, but they're here in the rules and they must be followed. So I just want to bring that up because I think it's important.
And Mr. Chair, as a representative from Willacy County, as a coastal county, it's important that we take all this, and we're downstream from wherever the outfall is going to be through Willacy County. So it's important that these environmental issues be addressed.
Mr. Dale, if I can request that you submit in writing, and then we can incorporate into the scope and then have it, documented. you can send it to the chairman and CC me on it, that'd be great.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deo. I really appreciate you bringing this up. Any other comments in regards to the discussion we're having?
Chairman, this is Joe Khalifa. I'd
Yes,
like
sir.
to second the motion of Mr. Castro to approve Half and Associates as our engineer.
Okay, well, we're going to authorize the Drainage District to negotiate the professional services agreement, which we would hopefully have done in the next month or so. Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all those against say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any other opposed? Thank you. We will proceed. The ayes in favor of the negotiation with Half and Associates to be the number one ranked firm for negotiations has been approved by the board. We will proceed, and please submit that information, and I will submit some to you also, Jaime, in regards to Dr. Leo's concerns. And thank you, Megan, for sending us that information so that we can have those principles, the guiding principles that you're talking about, in hand as we proceed with the process. Item number 10 is discussion and action as appropriate for the development of a public website. A pre-registered public comment on this.
I don't have anything, Chairman.
Okay, update on the planning group sponsor, Jaime, on this issue.
Chairman, on this one, I apologize. I sent the bid tabulation to the group this morning. We had received a late proposal, so I wanted to make sure that we included it. And I'm going to share my screen to show everyone what was sent early this morning. And it breaks down the, can everyone see my screen on the
Yes, sir.
website development? Okay, so I know looking at it, there's a big difference in cost. What the district requested and was part of their request to these companies was web hosting, backups, software updates, unlimited access for us to have, premier support, give us the option to select a template, contact modeling, develop in fewer than 90 days is what we requested, be mobile phone friendly, mobile ready, and GUI website builder and website management. The website management, we requested from these companies a minimum of 20 hours. So what this allows us to do, chairman and committee members, and send any information that we'd like, and they would manage it, they would post it for us, and they would have that authority to do that for the Region 15. So easy task, they can submit a cost at 20 hours. So that's what they did. They submitted an initial cost of $59.95. That's going to give us 20 hours of management. And then every year after that, it's going to be $2,000 a year for the same services. The second vendor, Civic Plus, they could only offer a minimum of 60 hours. They could not go below that. So that's why it shows. Now, Civic Plus does offer, one of their main advantages with Civic Plus is that they offer the opportunity to create user logins. So if for whatever reason you like this RFQ, we could have placed that on there. They would be able to go in there and download it and then register their name so we know exactly who's taking information. So that would allow us to create a user login, and that's automatic with their services. So that's why you see the price disparity, also because of the fact that they can only do 60 hours. And looking at the information that we're dealing with, chairman and committee members, in discussion with my IT manager, we were comfortable that 20 hours would be suffice considering the information that we have. Plus the fact that it'll also allow us to, if we needed to, go in and make any changes ourselves to the website. And the last vendor that we received is from Research Applied Technology. and they offer the exact same services. Their proposal did not specify how many hours of management throughout the year they would give us, and I didn't have time to follow up. We received this one yesterday, but that's what we have, Chairman and committee members, for your consideration. This time I'll be willing to answer any questions, not too technical. If we do have some more technical questions, I can call my IT manager in to help me answer those. But that's where we're at, Chairman.
This would be a standalone website, right, that we're looking at?
That is correct, Chairman, at the request of the committee. Yes, sir.
Right, okay.
So this is Hudson, I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
So we got 3 vendors there. I presume that if we go with one, we're kind of stuck with that one for the future? Or, I mean,
Not necessarily, Mr. Deo. I mean, if the committee would like to continue to shop around in the future, we can definitely do that. There wouldn't be a contract tied to that. So, you know, we can, you know, at the committee's request, change in the future they'd like.
If I may, Jaime, traditionally what we do at the district, we have an opt-out clause, Dr. Dale, that allows us to terminate, you know, any type of services. And I'm sure we'll look at that with legal, and that's probably what we would recommend here, even though, you know, it depends how this is paid up, you know, how it's proposed and paid yearly or whatever. Obviously, if you pay for the year or you pay for whatever time frame, well, that's covered, but there's an option to opt out of contracts all the time. So I'm sure we would recommend that type of language in this contract, just like we do in any contract that we enter with vendors.
Like a 90-day
yes, sir.
opt-out.
Traditionally,
yeah.
we have, yes, sir. Traditionally, we have something like that, Mr. Chairman. That's correct. So we can work that. So you're not married to that company for, you know, forever. You can opt out.
That's correct, Mr. Satin.
Mr. Salazar, what is your recommendation?
Mr. Mia, my recommendation would be to go to Easy Task. That's currently what the drainage district is using now. It's user friendly and it's inexpensive for the information that we have. If later in the future we want to look at to create, you know, user logins, and we can revisit that. But I think for the immediate and for what we need, I would recommend the committee go with the Easy Task.
Well, that seems to be
a committee recommend motion to go with the staff recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Mia. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ms. Lambert. That was an easy task.
Yes, no pun intended.
No pun intended. All those in favor of that, or any discussion before we go any further? I'm sorry.
Just a quick question. This is Dan Lucio. I had a question about the is this map, are we going to have GIS mapping capabilities for this website?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we will.
Perfect.
Ms. Manny, I have a quick question in reference to the, I guess the 20-hour, I guess max.
Yes, sir.
Do they, if there's any overages, are they going to entertain that, and how much would those additional costs be? Because I know, you know, this can be pretty labor intensive when you're dealing with a website, geocoding and so forth, especially we get so technical in dealing with GIS maps and all sorts of apps and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of curious about that.
We don't have a price on the overages, Mr. Cruz. Like I said, we were pretty confident that we can do it all within the 20 hours. And like I said, if not, then we would request that the drainage IT manager assist us in those if needed. Anything beyond that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments or questions?
Chairman, this is Joe Khalifa. Just wanted to ask the budget, the cost for this, is that included within the grant application to the Texas Water Development Board?
Yes, sir. That is.
And Commissioner, just and Jaime, a quick side note, and we'll discuss this at a different time, but it should be a subcontract under the main contract with the TWDB to be eligible for reimbursement.
That's fine. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. And I did see, motion carries. I did see Mr. Moore on. Mr. Moore, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the group, we're about the end of the agenda, but we'd be more than happy to enjoy your background.
Thank you. I'm Alan Moore. I'm the general manager of Cameron County Drainage District number 5. Prior to that, I was regional engineer for the Soil Conservation Service, part of USDA. Done each job now for about 20 years. Currently also the engineer for the Texas State Soil and Water Board for the Harlingen Regional Office. I appreciate the opportunity to serve on the committee and hope that I'm an asset. I'm sorry about the beginning. It logged on and then my Wi-Fi went down and I had to get off and come back. So thank you for the opportunity to serve on the committee.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Welcome, sir.
Jaime, anything else or anyone else in public comment?
No, sir. Not on my end, Chairman.
Okay. Item number 12 is consider date and agenda items for the next meeting. We will, I think I would like to make an agenda item now so that we can make sure and we put something on in regards to Dr. Deo's concerns about the environmental issues and the guiding principles. I think it would be a good idea, Megan, if we got a little short overview on what you mentioned so that the whole group will be more comfortable and confident with the process that we're undertaking. So if you could do that for us, it would be greatly appreciated,
Yes, sir.
For the next meeting. As far as a time and date for the next meeting, do we need to wait till after the Water Development Board meeting for our next meetings since we don't have an executed contract yet, Megan?
That's up to you. You definitely do not have to wait. At this point, let's see, we're February 24th. So looking at March 31st is a deadline for contract execution. That could be around a month if you decided to do a little after, but you by no means have to.
I think I would want to wait till after that meeting occurs and we are approved so that we can maybe have a meeting in which we can take actions on. Any discussion from the group,
Chairman, if I may, just as a follow-up to my comments to Director Pop, and I'm just throwing this out there, would a resolution from Region 15 maybe to the legislature be appropriate or helpful just to make them not forget about infrastructure funding for flooding? I know that it seems every session something comes up, and I'm fearful that kind of weatherizing the grid is going to be a major allocation of funding, and they may forget about flooding. For our purposes, this was pretty bad, but when it rains, it's very bad as well. So we can't just let it, let the latest tragedy kind of overtake something that's also very important. So I don't know if that's something that sometimes, since we're maybe a subcommittee of an agency, it may not be appropriate to be advocating for funds. And that's something I just wanted to kind of put out.
We can't do much without funds, okay? So I think it'd be appropriate till they tell us it's not appropriate. Yeah, with that being said, I'll ask that we put an item on for the next meeting so that we can consider approving a resolution. And since you have volunteered to do it for us, just run it by myself and Jaime, and we'll be more than happy to put on the agenda something that would be appropriate for us to present.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Okay.
And Jose, I'd like to also say, I'll take that back to my other 2 board members and talk to them about that. But there's nothing that prevents y'all from, picking up the phone and calling, some of our newer members on natural resources or the water the Senate Water Committee. You know, we've got a new chair of natural resources. You know, you guys are autonomous. You have your own roles to play in the flood world as well. So there's nothing that prevents you from doing that. So if you feel like increasing funds for the fifth is something that you personally feel is necessary or for your region, there's nothing that prevents you from doing that. So, but I will take the resolution idea to my staff and my other two board members and see what they say. But I really, you know, I appreciate the focus on it, because you are right. Right now, winterizing the grid is going to take priority. I mean, you saw that the Senate released their 31 priorities, and there wasn't really one for water or flood necessarily. That being said, I feel like infrastructure is all kind of wrapped into one big chunk right now. So, but I appreciate the focus on that, and I will get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I'm going to throw out a date in regards to next meeting, April 1st. April 1st at 8:30 a.m., which is a Thursday, and that'll be the day after the Water Development Board meeting.
Mr. Chairman, that's the April Fool Day.
That's right.
I'm good with that date.
I think that this early meetings kind of move us along quickly, because, you know, we're not even we're like 45 minutes and we're at the end of our meeting. So, you know, we'll go ahead and, Jaime, April 1st, 8:30 a.m.
Sounds good, Chairman.
And if anyone else wishes to entertain any other items for the agenda, please let me or Jaime know, or both of us know, and we'll be more than happy to consider putting those items on the agenda for you. Okay?
Okay. Commissioner, this is Megan. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to clarify, April 1st at 8:30?
Yes, ma'am. A.m.
Commissioner Garza, again, a question. I'm thinking about the timeline of the contract and such. You know, for us to say, discuss the scope of work and then get the detail done, you know, I'm concerned about, you know, having enough time to do all this, and then how much time it's going to take the contractor to do the actual work. And are we going to be pushing the time envelope within April 1st? Not to say that we don't have to, but I'm concerned about the timeline.
Well, we can't we can't execute a contract before getting a contract from Water Development Board, right, Megan?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so until the 31st, which is the next meeting for the Water Development Board, there is no way that we can execute any contracts. That was my suggestion for April 1st. At that point, you know, we can discuss any particular tasks that we're going to be discussing and include or add or delete or whatever we need to do. But in the meantime, we are going to get the principles that Megan, if we need to have more information, I would encourage all of us to ask Megan any questions as a forum, as a group. And that way, you know, the more information that we can exchange together, the more informed we can be and feel more comfortable with the process going forward. But, you know, I just don't see, you know, unless we're going to have a workshop type meeting, which we can, if the majority wish that we do, I just don't see why we would want to have another meeting between now and April 1st.
That's fine. It's just, you know, I brought up one topic that is not going to take 4 hours to deal with that. So unless there's a lot of other comments, then yes, it might be, you know, useful to do that. But, you know, just my comment alone, I don't think is worth doing a meeting for.
Okay, well, if others do come up, any concerns or any questions come up, Jaime and I mean, we got a 14-day time window with which we have to work with to post meetings and make sure that we comply with all the rules. But if something does come up, if any of you on the line wish to have us discuss any item or any issue that is of particular interest to you, and we need to call a workshop type meeting, we would be more than happy to accommodate, okay? Just send Jaime or myself, whatever the discussion needs to be, and we can do so, and we'll get Megan to help us find the resources so that we can have as much expertise on those subject matter areas that need discussion as possible for the meeting.
Fine, thanks.
Hudson and Commissioner, and just so the group knows, I will be sending out, even before our discussion at the next April 1st meeting, I will be sending out an email that includes the resources and the guidance principles that I alluded to, so that you guys can look those over beforehand.
Okay, thank you so much, Megan.
Thank you.
Any other comments or concerns?
Commissioner,
If not, yes, sir.
A quick question to Megan or Jaime. Since last meeting, we didn't get a confirmation who was going to contact the other regions to make sure that we were included in their email. So just wanted to confirm that they did reach out to them, and they added us to their distribution list for region 13 and 14.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We'll get
Thank
that
you.
confirmation and forward it to you, Mr. Cruz. Thank you.
Thank you.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A second from,
I'll second. This is Dan Lucio.
thank you, Mr. Lucio. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And if there's any issues that need to be discussed, please call me or Jaime, and we'd be more than happy to, try to get answers for you. Okay. Thank you so much. And we will see you on April 1st.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.